Hey, in the previous video I demonstrated to you how it works, the expand effect in C#. Now I will go through the code, through every line of code, and be relevantly quick. And yes, let's start. First, we got some values here, some variables. We're setting the variables in the class, so every function and every integer can access them down through the code. I'm setting here the final width should how much the final width should be looking when it's done, current width and height, current form x and y, first form x, that means the first form x, and height and y that we got, that the Windows actually chose. And then we got width and height booleans for actually is the work in width and height dimensions done. Then we got customizable integers. They are the only integers that can be customizable. You can customize those two here, but you need to do it from here. I will explain in a minute. Okay, we have timer interval, the timer that is running the pixels, the pixel expansion. Then we have plus width per timer interval. That means how much width and height there is going to be after one plus one timer interval. I will explain right here. That means if it was right here and we want 2 pixels at width and 2 pixels at height, those variables actually they're gonna tell the program that we want 2 pixels at width and 2 pixels in height to be added at every timer interval is passed. There's information on the steps, how actual program works, gets the size, shrinks to the ratio of the size, and then expands. I didn't done some commenting on how it actually expands, but we can see in a moment. There's initialized components for the form itself, the designer, and then we have form load, that's the basic function. And I did the shrink, I called the shrink function from here to actually shrink and then expand the form at the form load, at loading of the form. Okay, the shrink function is basic. It's pretty basic function, and gets the final width and height that should be, then gets the first form x and y coordinates, then sets up the booleans. This is for if you want to use it again, like this shrink button right here, sets up the booleans to false. We can see in a moment why is it doing that. Then shrink and setups the location of the form. This there is a new size right here, and I'm instead of the integers calculating in here, I'm looking for the integer like a method, and I'm doing it right here, private integer. There's a if statement here in the shrink width and height integers. So let's look up why is it here. There's final width. If the final width is bigger than final height, I'm gonna run this. I'm gonna return this value, and this is actually ratio between it's not the ratio, it's final width minus final height minus shrink. We're gonna get by actually the ratio. Oh, it's here. It's hard to explain to you. It's calculating how much the width should be in ratio of the height, in ratio of like the form width and height that should be is the size. It's 400 and 300. Those are the width and height right here, the pixels. And then what it's actually doing, if we know the ratio of the height, the minimal size that we want to the width is 150 right here, 150. It's 150, the minimal size right here, 150. Okay, you see that it's not actually looking here. And then it goes 150, it grabs the aspect ratio to one here 115, grabs this value here. If we know that the aspect ratio is 400 to 150 and 300 to, we don't know that, grabs these values, that is 130 in this case, 112 actually in this case, the ratio, and then grabs this ratio, and then it's not finished yet. It grabs the width, because in this particular case I found that if we don't grab the width again using some really cool stuff here, we're gonna get a problem where it won't expand the width as fast as the height expands. So we need to normalize the width expand and the height expand to the width and height to expand the both at the same time. You see here, it finished at the same time. If we don't do that, it's gonna finish the height first in this case, and then the width is gonna do it like this, right here, and gonna stops. And that's not the expand effect. We want aspect ratio from the start to begin to the end. You need to know some massive if you actually following this, and I wanna to be more quicker, but I can do it maybe. And then sets the location. It grabs the, I'm gonna show you really quick. I don't have my tablet now, but I'm gonna show you. It grabs this is the form, the final size. This is the shrink size. It grabs this location right here. It grabs how much from the first. This is first I don't have my tablet, sorry. First X and Y, and grabs then goes to the X coordinates and the Y coordinates and meets up where the size the form should be to expand in that way in every 4 directions. That's what is done here. Then we're setting up the timer interval and starting the timer right here. In the timer is the whole code for the expansion. This is expand timer. Maybe I got the spelling wrong. Getting the current size and location. Gets the current size in not in new size, like that. This is actually doing Y and X coordinates. You can see that maybe here. Size. We can see that we do tabControl for now. It's actually right here. It wants the width and height. This is the two-dimensional component, which is two-dimensional component. But we're grabbing it by width and height like integers, not like a point, or it's not a point, it's a size. Point is X and Y. Here we're grabbing the current form X and Y, and every timer every time the timer ticks, it's going to grab those current values, and we're setting the location of tabControl for the first time. So the most important thing you to have you to know is that it needs a tabControl. Everything, username and password, and every label, every text box, every chart, everything, it needs to be in tabControl. tabControl right here. The tabControl, I had a video on YouTube that I'm showing how you can actually do that. So the tab page here is out of view. It's behind the border of the form. Okay, I did that, and everything in that tab page is controlled by the tabControl. The size and not the size, the location is by tabControl. Where do you move it? Moves it right there. tabControl, move. You see the username is actually moved. The username labels and text bars are moved. So what I did here is I use tabControl and tabControl location. I set it up right here to be, and those username is going to be right here somewhere. But what I did is minus +6 and +25. You must got those. So the tabControl is not the tab page control is not gonna be visible. That right here is not gonna be visible if we have plus 6 and plus 20 plus 25 right here, minus 6 minus 25. Sorry for the background. Okay, you see it, it's not visible. And yes, everything is based on this mechanic right here, not visibility of the tabControl. And you can do tabControl in minus in relative minus x and y coordinates to the form. What you need to know is that the tabControl location is based on the form location or on its container's location. But the form location is based on the screen position. On the screen is container. It's container. So the form is relative to the screen 0, 0, but the tabControl location is relative to the forms 0, 0. You need to know that. That's very important. So this here, if we have the form in here, the form's location is going to be relative to the screen. This is the screen. They are going to be relative. They are going to be like 150 in this case, for example. But the tabControl, if it's right here, the tabControl is coordinates is going to be relative to the form. They're going to be, for example, 20 and 10. Okay, there is no 10 plus 50 on the tabControl or 20 plus 100 in the x-axis. Okay, now we're resizing and setting up the location of the form per one time render. And this is the size. We get the size width and plus height, width and height, the new width and height by doing this function. If current width is smaller than it should be, current width plus time render, and the height is, and if it's bigger, else it's true and return a current width. It's going to be returned the current width. There is no change in the width. That's easy. Then we're doing this location. This is those functions of the integers methods are I think fairly easy. If current form x is equal to first form x, return current form x. Don't change the location. That means current, or current form x minus this is here plus, can explain, plus the width that should be added divided by 2. That means minus 1, and that's gonna be in this direction right here. That's gonna be the width that should be added is right here, 1 and 2. But if you divided it to 2 parts, one width should go to here and one width should go to here. and we're just minus the one width, and the other stays down here. You don't need to actually understand it, but you need the code. And then what's actually doing is the tabControl location, new point, the same thing right here, just copy it here. I don't know what I did. I don't know why I did. You can try deleting this and then trying again, maybe. I think it will work without it. I don't know. And then if width and height are true, those booleans that we're talking about right here, true expand timer stops. And I think the most complicated are those functions for the shrink, because those are very useful and very important functions, methods. And when timer stops the expand, stops everything, and this is the code. The booleans are set up to false again if you click on that button. And just for the case, the button right here is button 2. Shrink function is called. It's calling the shrink function again, and sets up false. If you don't set up those to false, the timer will do that, but when it goes to here, it will see that width and height are true, and will stop the timer, and you're not gonna get the effect. That's it. That's the code. It's complicated, maybe for some, maybe for some not, but those calculations here that I done, honestly, I don't remember actually what that means, but when you get a closer look to the code and every detail of the code, you're gonna know. It's good to have more comments in here, but I didn't think that I will need those. And yes, if you modify this code and you publish it publicly, please credit me. And just say the code is by Mitko Nikov. I made some changes, and I don't have anything more to say. You can look deeply to the code. I'll demonstrate it to you again. If you change the form size from here, you can do it, because this is automatically. It doesn't matter whether or not you have changed it or not. This is made actually for customizing. If you customized your form and you think your application is done, you're releasing the application, you can delete those code lines for customization, like if something here, you can just return the value and don't have if final width is bigger or smaller. And yes, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. See you later.